Hello and welcome back to Walk the Cinema podcast. Today is our final episode of our Halloween month, and since it is Halloween, we're going to be talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And it's finally Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
I hope you get all the candy you ever wanted. But what we do for Halloween, instead of getting candy, we watch this movie.
Mm-hmm. And we watched it a little bit early this year so that we could have this episode out, but it's one of my favorite holiday movies. It's one of my favorite movies, period. One of my favorite Disney movies. It's just a really great film to watch.
It's an exceptional musical, and it really sets you in the mood for, I guess, October all the way to December. Mm-hmm. Some people will argue this is a Christmas movie or it's a Halloween movie. I've seen people that worked on this, like songwriters that think this is a Halloween movie and was made with that intention. So I also tend to believe that.
Yeah, I always see it as a Halloween movie. I have very fond memories of this watching Disney Channel, and as soon as this song plays during the commercial breaks or, just during the downtime of Disney shows, I knew that my favorite season was here, and it was just such a joyous time. I remember loving watching This Is Halloween all the time. It would always play on Disney Channel.
Such a great opener for the film, too.
Yeah, it really sets the tone. It's a banger.
It's really good.
And I think it sets a tone not only for the movie itself, but then also for the incredible music that the great Danny Elfman made.
This had no right being this good. Like, these songs are beyond the film. They're just, you can put them on the radio or on your Spotify Halloween list, and you don't even need to watch the movie to appreciate these songs. They're so good that they became essential for Halloween time.
Yeah, because, This Is Halloween is, kind of iconic. It brings out a lot of different voices of different monsters, and they're all kind of unique, and it also introduces this character, Jack Skellington. He's the king of the pumpkin patch. He's the Pumpkin King, and he's kind of Halloween Town's savior or hero. They love him. He's not the mayor.
No.
But he is the person that's kind of runs the town.
Because the mayor can't do it on his own.
Yeah, he's only an elected official.
Yeah. How can he be trusted to make decisions?
Yeah. And I think that what this movie has going for it a lot is the characterization of everything. The characters look really cool, and they're all unique. And I think that, claymation itself kind of lends itself to that, where you have really interesting character design, but especially with this, with the monsters, you have kind of the stereotypical monsters, right? You have the devil. There's a devil character.
There's ghosts.
Yeah, there's ghosts. There's vampires. But then you have these other characters that are purely created for this movie.
And even the ones that have inspiration, like the Dr. Frankenstein type character.
Yeah.
He's not a human, and they made him very unique and recognizable.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of with Sally, she is the Frankenstein's monster, but instead of, being body parts, she's essentially a rag doll with leaves.
She's really cool looking.
Yeah.
I think she might be my favorite character.
I like her, and I really enjoy, there's one character that's a mud monster, and you see the mud dripping off of the character in the
I also
like
the idea behind the mayor of the switching expressions.
Yeah.
And the boogeyman. The scenes with the boogeyman are really cool.
Oogie Boogie.
And he might, Oogie Boogie might not look super special at a first glance because he's like a rucksack. Mm-hmm. But once you get more details of him, he's also really cool.
Yeah, I agree. And then we have Jack Skellington, where you first meet him. He's got the pumpkin head on, and then he sets himself on fire, jumps into the green acid green vat, and he comes out and he's a skeleton, and what an icon. And you get this story of a character that is really good at what he does, but he does it the same every single year.
Yeah.
And he gets tired of it. He has this whole existential crisis.
Yeah.
Of he would give it all up because it's just not fulfilling to him anymore.
Yeah, especially when he finds this new concept of Christmas, of joy and fun and snow. He becomes obsessed with it, which is the movie, right? The movie's him trying to take over Christmas. Not as like the Grinch would, where it's like he wants to destroy it. Jack doesn't want to destroy Christmas. He just wants to make it as best as possible with him in the center.
Yeah. And he wants to be able to do all this, and he has this idea, but he's making all of these characters do something that's kind of outside of their even thinking. It's kind of like making a fish climb a tree.
They don't realize what anything means.
Yeah. And they're trying to do what Jack is telling them, but they end up doing it wrong, making it scary, which works for Halloween. You know, they make Halloween fun.
They think everything is scary, though. Yeah. Like, they think of Santa Claus as Sandy Claus because they can't imagine a fun-loving, jolly old man. So they make him like this monster with claws, and which he's not, but they can't imagine him not being also a monster. Yeah,
because it's different. It's just not within their realm, you know? And they have like different realms. Like I like the idea of having all of these different holidays that have different worlds, and you have Christmas Town or Christmas Land, and then there's the giant turkey for Thanksgiving.
We see the Easter Bunny. Or just a bunny. I guess I'm not sure if he's
he is
major one.
I think he is the Easter Bunny. Okay. You know, in the movie at least. But they scare him, you know, because he gets kidnapped by Shock, Lock, and Barrel, which are interesting characters themselves, which I'm sure if you've seen the movie, you know, like the idea behind them, that they're children that died in like kind of horrific ways, where one drowned, one was shocked to death, and one froze to death maybe. I don't remember what the other one was, but it was like they all died in kind of like tragic ways.
Really
and
sad.
Their character designs are like reminiscent of like the way that they died.
I love that about this director, because he went on to make Coraline, which is also like a spooky animated film. And that one's even scarier. Like he really pushed it with that for like a kids movie. Yeah. And he just has these ideas. They're really dark, and he could be making horror movies. Like it's not that hard when you have the talent and you have the money behind you to make a horror movie, but he makes these animated movies that are not horror movies. They are targeted towards kids. Yeah. For the most part, but they're still so dark in their essence. Yeah. And I just love his darker work.
Yeah, they're really fun movies to watch, even if they are a little creepy. This one's less so than Coraline, very much, I would say.
Yeah, this one's not creepy.
This one's more just, you have the horror elements, I guess, or you see like characters with not like a full-on axe in their head, and that's the character design.
Yeah, I could see the character design like making you a little scared as a kid if you haven't seen the movie, right? Because sometimes we're kids, we see images. And we see them a lot, like it could be on the Disney Channel, but without seeing the full movie, we just create these ideas of what the characters look like. And I could see this haunting my nightmares if I was younger and like misinterpreted what the characters are. But you watch the movie and it's a musical.
Yeah, and the music is just beautiful.
No, but musicals can be scary, just in general. Like we're talking about Cats.
Right. It's the only one you can name.
It's the only scary musical I can think of.
But this musical in particular is just so beautiful. Like beyond This Is Halloween, you have like Jack's Lament and Sally's Song and they're beautiful songs in and of itself, but then like throughout the movie they become like the themes of the character, kind of, and you hear like iterations of both of those songs kind of throughout the film.
It's super well balanced.
Yeah.
Because not only are like the songs good and then they represent the themes, but the visuals are also there. Like they don't slack on that behalf. Like the Hoogie Boogie song, where the song's good and then he's in this layer, like his cave or whatever. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's like a casino that's neon lit.
And it also sets him up to be the villain.
Yeah.
So it does everything good. Like it doesn't slack on any element of filmmaking to make another one better.
Yeah. Yeah. And with Oogie Boogie, it's so, I don't know. I love the lore of this movie. I love thinking about it. I remember, being a kid watching this every single Halloween multiple times because it would always, play. But I also had the VHS, but unfortunately our VCR ate the tape and destroyed it, and I was too scared to tell my mom about it because I thought I'd get yelled at. And I ended up not having it anymore after a certain time. So, but I remember just being like, this would be such a cool place to go to. And then I found Kingdom Hearts, and there's a level in Kingdom Hearts where you can play in Halloween Town, and you can like explore Halloween Town, and I just thought that was so cool because I was like, oh my gosh, I can like go through the town and go to Oogie Boogie's house and yada blada, and it's so fun, and it just made my heart happy.
Yeah, just looking at the movie would make me happy. Like even without the sound, without the music, if you're just watching it on mute, it would still be interesting enough to watch on mute. Because I've been, family Christmases and just that type of meeting with the family where the TV's on but everyone's talking so you can't really hear.
Yeah.
And there's movies that you just like get bored of, like Home Alone. Home Alone just playing in the background is not fun.
Yeah.
Like without being able to like fully hear the story and all of that. But this just playing in the background would be fun. And not just because it's animated, but because of the way that it is animated. The claymation really is timeless. This movie feels older and newer at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it should already exist because it's so good. How has no one made it?
Yeah, and I think it does a good job at like kind of solidifying these characters as Halloween characters. Like Jack Skellington is a Halloween character. Sally is a Halloween character. And they didn't really exist before this movie,
Yeah.
They just, now they're a part of like pop culture.
Yeah.
And in pop culture they live, because I think of Blink-182's song "I Miss You," and it says we can live like Jack and Sally, which refers to this.
It also lives in pop culture because this is an absolute cash cow for Disney.
Yes, it is.
There's so many items and stores of this. We even have 2 Squishmallows.
Yeah.
Which is like the only merch we have of a big movie.
Yeah, for the most part. And they were a gift because obviously my birthday is in October. It's essentially a week before Halloween. I've always loved Halloween. I've always loved, this movie. This has always been such a cozy time for me.
It really is. Cozy, like sit in the couch. It's a little cold outside. You put on Nightmare Before Christmas. It's October.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really just sets the mood for us, and I would imagine a lot of people. And, seeing it in every store, seeing stickers and t-shirts and plushies, like, I guess your brain starts connecting it. But I don't know, I feel like it's bigger than that. It's bigger than a marketing machine.
I mean, it definitely is. And I think because of it's now kind of a holiday classic, it goes beyond even Disney. You know what I mean? Where it's like not like I don't think of it, even though I know it's a Disney movie. I don't, or at least Disney distributed it, or it's a Disney Channel or Disney production. I still don't think about it as a Disney movie. You know?
Yeah, which very few movies do. Even like great ones, like you think Lion King or Beauty and the Beast, they're great, but you know they're Disney movies. And they feel like Disney movies. And if that's bad, it's up to you. I don't care either way.
Yeah.
But this one feels like its own entity outside of studio boundaries, outside of even like genre boundaries. People that only watch horror movies for October like I do will watch this, even though technically it's not a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
People that don't like musicals like this. People that don't watch animation because it's for kids, they will watch this. Some people will. Of course, some people are stuck in the animation is for kids mentality, but not that this isn't. It was made for kids, but it doesn't make it any less good or timeless.
Yeah, and I think it's more like family friendly, you know? Like it's good for the whole family, not just for children.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's catering for little toddlers. No. I felt completely fine following it as a story, as a movie, and I hold it highly. It would be in the top of my list of animations, top of my list of musicals, even maybe top of all time. Mm-hmm. Not near the top, but if it's a top 100, it could sneak in the 90s or the 80s.
Mm. Yeah. I don't know where this would fall on my list of top 10, but it's definitely high up there because I love it so much. And it's just, it brings such nostalgia to me. And even, you know, I watched this as a kid, but then as, you know, I got to be like a preteen and, you know, early teenager, there was essentially a cover album of all the songs on the soundtrack called Nightmare Revisited, and it came out in 2008, and it had artists like Marilyn Manson and like the All American Rejects sing songs from the movie and have it on this album. And that was like, I think that really solidified, well, I mean, not that solidified it, but it had kind of turned into like a Hot Topic genre, like film, you know, where the kids that frequented Hot Topic always had like some type of merch from this movie. But my favorite song off that album is, I love Sally's song so much. I think it's so pretty and dynamic. And Amy Lee from Evanescence does that song on Nightmare Revisited, and I love her voice so much on it. So
yeah, these songs are endlessly replayable outside of the movie. There's just things that if they are on the radio, you wouldn't think, oh, this is a soundtrack or this is from a movie. No, it's a song that's good and it's about Halloween.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's a good mentality when writing this type of thing. And that's what makes it even more timeless, besides the claymation looking great. Like, they didn't need to use any effects or anything like that would, like, put it in a certain time frame, like Toy Story. Which Toy Story is great, but it's aged. And this has not aged a second in any realm. And that's why I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I also gave it a 9 out of 10, and I always struggle with like whether I should give this a 10 out of 10 because I love it so much, but there's always something holding me back from it. I don't really know what it is, but I love this movie. It's timeless. I think I'll probably watch this until the day I die, you know? And
you know, yell at the people in the retirement home to put this on because it's Halloween.
Exactly. Tell them to shut up, you know, because I'm trying to watch it. It's great. I know all of my friends love this movie.
My friends probably don't.
Yeah,
but they should.
I just think it's a pretty classic movie, and I feel like it jump-started a lot of different claymation movies that have the similar kind of vibe. Like we talked about Coraline. I feel like Coraline wouldn't have been made had this not done so well because it did kind of... Disney was worried that this movie was going to be too scary.
It's risky
for kids. And I think that with its success, it kind of proved that kids they're not necessarily scared of scary imagery as long as it's portrayed in
right. Yeah, that's what I said. If you see the movie, they're not scary.
Yeah.
If you see the
character design,
like a poster or like a sticker or a T-shirt, and it's just
a skeleton.
It's like, oh, it's gonna get me.
Yeah. But I think it did. I think it did kind of jumpstart that like this is something that kids would be interested in. Mm-hmm. So then we get things like The Corpse Bride and
Corpse Bride is like super highly rated by a lot of people. It's Tim Burton.
Yeah.
We got Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Frankenweenie.
We got I guess Monster House, Paranorman. There's a lot of like horror themed kids movies. I don't think any of them really touch this except maybe Coraline. Coraline's a lot heavier than this is. I think it's a lot deeper than this is. But this is near perfect in everything it tries to achieve.
Agreed. But I think that that's all for this episode. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a comment. And if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, go ahead and rate us if you'd like. And we will see you next time.